Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to day 3 of John Howard Week. So I'm very, very excited to introduce Lily, who's here from PEI Literacy Alliance. She's going to speak a little bit about their Essential Employability Skills program, which sounds like an awesome program to get people kind of into the workforce, but also develop both life and work kind of relevant skills, which is a good kind of wraparound, I think, service to offer everyone. So whenever you are ready, Lily, I will let you take it away and I will start sharing
All right.
presentation,
Hi.
which hopefully everyone can see now. Almost now. There.
Hi, nice to meet you all. So I'm the program coordinator for the Essential Employability Skills program over at PEI Literacy Alliance. I'm actually just sort of across the hall from Bryn's office. There's a book fridge outside our door. If you're ever looking for me, that's where I am. So this program, we've been running this since 2021. And before that, we ran a similar program since about 2019. So we've been doing this for a while and we have really great success rates with it. So I'll just get you to go to the next screen there. So at this point, we are partnered with new funders this time, including Skills PEI and ESDC. And our program is designed to provide a strong work opportunity to people and an opportunity for them to improve the quality of their lives. We pay them to be in training, and then we also provide a paid work placement. So unlike similar programs where you may not be paid when you're in the training program, in this program, you are actually paid what's equal to minimum wage, so about $450 per week to attend training. So that's what kind of makes this unique. And we also have wage subsidies and travel subsidies. So that's kind of what I find brings the success to this program. Okay. Oh, the other way. To the right, yeah. So who can take this program? To be eligible, you must be a citizen of Canada. You need to have a GED or high school diploma, and they must be able to pass a criminal record check and a vulnerable sector check. The vulnerable sector check isn't for all positions, but for many that are hands-on, as we're most often placing people in long-term care homes, and they must be currently unemployed or underemployed. And that's okay. And what does the program consist of? We do 6 weeks of paid training in essential employability skills, and then it's followed by a 6-week paid work placement in a long-term care home. They gain many new skills and certificates to add to the resume, and we also help them to create a resume and an online portfolio. And with these new tools and skills, it's really an opportunity for long-term employment. And we also encourage them to continue their education. We bring in guest speakers from the RCW program, LPN program. We have a lot of scholarships and awards to help people continue their education moving forward in the health sector and PEI. So training includes many different areas. There's about 8 chapters in our binder, and we have a professional facilitator who we have used for all cohorts of this program. Some of the essential skills include working with others, reading, writing, numeracy, thinking, oral communication, computer use, document use, continued learning. Something else neat about this program, we provide a brand new Chromebook when they start the program, and if they complete the program, they get to keep that at the end. So people really like the perk of having a new computer in the home. So that's another bonus. And for employability skills, it's things like attitude, confidence, accountability, motivation, time management, teamwork, stress management, personal presentation and grooming, adaptability, many different things like that. And we do bring in several guest speakers, usually 1 or 2 a week, that kind of tie into these different topics as we move through the chapters. Certificates earned. So obviously they earn our essential employability skills certificate, but we also add on extra certificates. So the gentle persuasive approach certificate is a certificate in working with people who have dementia. Workplace hazardous materials, so WHMIS, a basic CPR course. There's one that's not listed here, but it's the safe lifting and transfer course. It's called the TLR. And this time we're going to add the safe food handling course because we do have several people who can go into positions with dietary aid and dietary care. So we're going to put that one in this time. Special guests and special topics. So we bring in CDS, who does a presentation on resume and interview preparation. I am a guest speaker on online portfolio creation. And we bring in speakers from Marguerite Conley for RCW training. We bring in Holland College about their LPN program. We bring in someone who does a presentation on budgeting and debt management from, I forget the name of that group, Atlantic Credit Group. And we also bring in hospice PEI for grief management. And what do participants gain? So if they're on EI, they stay on EI. But if they don't have income right now of any sort, through our program, we can pay up to $450 per week. We provide the Chromebook and all their learning materials, binders, pens, pencils, a little package when they start. For our in-person days, we provide lunch for everybody. We have a travel subsidy, so that's mileage. And potentially, depending on where our classroom is going to be this time, that may include parking tokens. Childcare subsidy. So if they have a child in daycare and they can provide me with a daycare letter, I can provide, I believe it's up to $200 a week in childcare subsidies based on how many kids and what ages. And then the paid work placement. So 6 weeks of work placement, and almost everyone's offered a position after that. If they go through the placement and they like the position, it's theirs usually. And opportunities to advance and take more training. So our people are selected quite regularly. If they've completed our program, that looks really good to, especially right now, the free RCW training program. It really helps them to qualify for that. And we also have several awards and scholarships that we give out and also that Holland College gives out. So our participants, we like to nominate people for those as well. And our partner employers. So we have worked with the Male Continuing Care Community and PEI Seniors Homes for 2 cohorts. And this time we're adding Atlantic Baptist Home. So these groups, they have tons of placements. They're excellent to work with. We have all different positions. We have hands-on, we have cleaning, we have dietary, we have occasionally things like a maintenance position. So anything that you can imagine that might be an entry-level position around a long-term care home, we can provide or ask our employers about for placing people based on their interests and their skill sets. So how to apply for an interview. So if you have someone that you think might be a good fit for the program, you can click on, Bryn will be able to pass you the link to this presentation. It's just a website, and you can scroll to this slide and click on that link to go to the application form, or you can scan that code, the QR code, or you can go to the PEI Literacy Alliance website, Essential Employability Skills, and we'll have the application form on there later today. So right now it's our old application form, so just maybe wait a few hours if you're using that way, and I'll have the new one up. And what happens next? So we're going to leave it up for a few weeks and let people apply and do some recruiting, and selected applicants will be contacted for an interview, and classes will start probably April 17th or April 24th. And then the work placements will start in mid-June, but sometimes they do stagger over a few weeks depending on the position. And for more information, there's all my contact information. And again, when you're on the website, everything should click through and be linked. So yeah, and if anybody has any questions, I can try to answer them.
Sorry, you may have mentioned this already, but how many participants do you take for the class?
I can take up to 12, and I'm doing 3 cohorts this year. So I'm doing the spring cohort and 2 in the fall. So 36 this year. And And I usually do put a few sort of on my wait list in case somebody drops out in the first week or two. So I'll probably tentatively have maybe 15 people kind of slotted for each group. And we hope to have, 9 or 10 out of each group of 12 to complete the program. So it's usually our rates. So it's a good high success rate, I believe. Like, our facilitator is wonderful. He really brings the group together, and also the fact that they're getting paid like per day to sort of show up really helps people to complete the program. And we do take them on tours of the facilities before they start their work placement. So we bring them into the workplace. They meet maybe the HR person. I forgot to make a slide about this, but we do a mentor program simultaneously with this program. And we train usually 2 mentors from each location in a mentorship program. So when the participants go and start working there, they have sort of a buddy or a person that they, usually middle management or someone who's going to move into management, that they can go and talk to and ask questions to, who knows about the program and knows that they're new and is sort of welcoming to them. So
That's
yeah.
great. Thank you.
No problem.
Hi, Lily. It's Keith. I'm sorry I was late joining the group. I was on a phone call, actually. So thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. We appreciate it. And if you already covered this, maybe in part of your front end, I apologize. But I just want to. I have a broader question on literacy, and what I might say potentially the lack thereof. I've heard the rates quoted, not just as it relates to Prince Edward Island, but Canada as a whole, that as a society we're really challenged in terms of we have poor literacy rates, and poor literacy often is associated with poor socioeconomic outcomes for people. People that can't read can become very frustrated, of not being, and in some cases very embarrassed that they can't read or write, and it doesn't do a lot for self-esteem and those things. And it's just, unfortunately, some people's situations in their family growing up didn't allow for good literacy skills to be gained. It's not that they're not capable, but what is the literacy rate on Prince Edward Island? How do we? I don't know if you have that data. I guess it depends what you call literacy, because can you read at a grade 9 level or a grade 6 level or a university? You know what I mean? That could you give us some sense of and I just look at it from this, the standpoint of our caseworkers, understanding that we're dealing with a population, and that, in some cases, before we can actually get them into what I call skills training, they need to be able to read, because just about everything is online these days. And if your literacy skills aren't great, do you have any sense on that, or any data that would just sort of frame it for us?
I don't know the data on, on Prince Edward Island, like what percentage of people would consider themselves having a literacy issue. It's really hard to qualify that. I do know that it's low compared to the rest of Canada. The East Coast overall tends to score lower in literacy and in numeracy. And the programs like ours, this one, they do have to have their GED or their high school diploma.
Okay.
A previous program that I used to run, they didn't.
Okay.
So in that program, and there are other programs like that, we were kind of doing that wraparound where we would help people to, get their basic reading and writing skills up. if you had someone like that who was interested in taking their GED or in taking our program but needed to complete a GED first, I would probably point them to Workplace Learning, PEI, or Holland College first to kind of increase their adult literacy skills up to the point of being able to get the GED checked off. And then once they get to that point, I can put them into this program. And that's only because it's a stipulation for the long-term healthcare homes that they have that. But I'm not sure, like I don't have a percentage number that I can give you of adult, literacy rates on PEI, but I could look that up and email it.
No, it's just
after.
no, I'm not trying to create work for her. I was just kind of curious because I have heard numbers from time to time, and one of which that I heard is, and I have no data. I mean, this is from like talking to Billy at Tim's. Is that about 43% of people who graduate from high school on Prince Edward Island are functionally illiterate. In other words, they can't read much better than the instructions on a microwave popcorn bag. That's probably about their and I may be overstating it a bit, but even if 20% of the kids coming out of school are functionally illiterate, that's a huge challenge for society and our economy.
Yeah, it affects your daily life so much. Like if you think about how much, on a day-to-day basis, you need to be able to read a form or find a website or, language is all around us. And if you don't, and financial, like numeracy is all around us too. And if you're not coping well with those skills, if you don't have the foundation, it really changes the whole, trajectory of people's lives and what they're going to be able to accomplish. In PEI Literacy Alliance, we mostly focus on younger groups. So we have the Ready, Set, Learn program, and that provides summer tutoring for elementary ages. And we also have the Imagination Library. So from birth to ages 5, we mail books out for free to people's homes all across PEI. So if you know anybody or if you have any clients that might want to sign up for Imagination Library to receive the free books, that's also on our website. And for the summer tutoring program, those referrals usually come through the resource teachers. And the program that I do is the only one that we do with adult literacy right now. So,
Okay, good. Thank you for that.
Okay.
I have a question for you, Lily.
Okay.
You're talking about the Chromebooks and if they get the program, they get to keep them. Did you have a specific funder who either kind of gave you those in kind or wanted to support something like that, or any sort of kind of the in-kind benefits? Are these kind of funding or?
No, that's not in kind. That's out of our budget, like our main budget through ESDC. We've always provided the Chromebooks. It started during the pandemic. So before the pandemic, we did in-class programs. And I think one class we did start with a cohort with Chromebooks a little bit before that, but then we moved everything to online for several cohorts. They had to have the Chromebook. And for a while we were paying like an internet subsidy. So if they didn't have the internet at home, we would get their internet hooked up and here's a Chromebook and they could join us. We really brought the classroom right into their living room. So people, it was the lockdown, right? People had children crawling all over them and we were doing class. We're here for you, It was really neat, like to see it kind of change, do that pivot from in-person, like in a classroom learning, to being this like online space. And now what we're doing for this one is hybrid. So it's going to be 3 days a week in person, 1 day a week online. And that's just to get them used to having an email address, signing into Zoom, how to do an online meeting, using their resume online, like just to get them really comfortable with all the tech skills that they need just to be able to, join a meeting, pull up their resume and answer their emails and link into a meeting, right? So that's why we're having the 1 day a week online, 3 days a week in person, and then they have 1 day a week to do group work and work on their portfolios and things like that. So, it's a hybrid layout this time, which is kind of neat because that's 2023, you know?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
totally. Like you said, great for them to be able to actually use the computer, especially
Yeah.
with adults too. You don't know what
Yeah.
their kind of technological background is. So yeah, that's perfect.
And a lot
for
aren't,
those
and that's,
candidates.
yeah, that's kind of, we do have a chapter on computers, but I find, you know, giving them the Chromebooks and hooking them up with all of these, you know, the meetings and the new email addresses and everything. Like we've had people who haven't had an email address before in the program, so it's right down to basics sometimes. And getting everybody, you know, using all those tools is that kind of covers our digital literacy skills. So
Yeah, no, and like
yeah.
you said too, kind of any sort of travel, childcare subsidy, everything too,
All
removes
that, yeah.
barriers
Yeah.
and kind of
And we've had
reasons
people,
not to do it.
we've had people in our programs before accessing, like taking their Chromebook and going to the outreach centers. I had 2 people before do the program from the outreach center.
Okay.
So they would show up every day and they were kind of given like a table in a quiet area. And I've had clients come in from Lennon House and Blooming House before for our program. So yeah, like if there's a will, there's a way, and we can help people try to find what they need to be able to take the course. And we also we work closely with social assistants. We had someone who lived too far outside of town to get internet. So they actually helped us fund for that person to get an apartment and be in town and have access to the internet so they could do this training. So
Wow.
yeah,
Great.
so there's help, you know, depending on what people are facing to be able to do this training.
Yeah, no, and like you
Yeah.
said, from all different emergency shelters to kind
Yep.
of just someone struggling to find their role, it really kind of helps. And then, of course, they're getting socialized
Yep.
and being able to interact with people from all different sorts of walks of life. And
We try,
Yeah.
and you have to, you know, people are kind of meeting us in all different stations of life. There is a lot of recovery, people in recovery. There's people coming out of like depressions. There's a lot of different things going on in people's lives, and we kind of meet everybody where they are. We have a lot of individual meetings with everybody before we bring the group together. And so the facilitator and I both know everybody's situation really well, and then we bring the group together, and knowing people's backgrounds a bit more kind of helps us to you know, think about that particular cohort who might be, you know, good guest speakers, or what can we add to that cohort for this particular like dynamic of that group. So it's customized a bit to who's in each class. So
Great. Do you find everyone or most people would come in with some sort of direction and kind of longer term goals once they finish the program? Or is it more kind of the sorting out what they want to move into and kind of what skills they get, and they get more comfortable that way? And
it's kind of funny because sometimes, like, I'll usually have a few people in each class who do have a genuine interest in working in health. And some people might be thinking about working in health, and some people might just be not really sure about working in health, but they want to take the training and they'll try working in health. And it's funny because sometimes the ones who sort of come in and they weren't overly convinced about a career in health, love it. They're still there. They're there a couple years later, or they go on and take more training. So you never really know when you start a group who your rock stars are going to be. And sometimes it's really surprising and amazing a few years later to kind of see where people are after the course. Because a lot of them are still in touch, right? So you kind of watch people grow. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. To be able to see them kind of once they've moved on, hopefully some of them come back and kind of speak or encourage.
Oh,
some
they
of the
do.
future
Yeah. And they
students.
come and, like, whoever got a scholarship one year will come and do a talk and introduce somebody for a scholarship the next year. And like, you kind of see the progression. It's nice.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. It's fabulous. No, it sounds like a great program. I don't know if anyone else has any questions.
Yeah,
Aaron?
just got a quick question. So you mentioned that there's vulnerable sector check and police check. If someone's got a criminal record, does that not make them eligible for your program, or do you still work with that individual?
It depends on the charge. So it can't be assault. But sometimes if it's like a theft charge, or if it's something that they might be able to get pardoned fairly soon, there's a little bit of flexibility around that. But yeah, if it's any sort of like assault or sexual charge, we can't, because it is, you know, they're in with people who are mentally incapacitated at times, and right. So
Yeah.
yeah, so but theft or speeding, you know, traffic crimes, like things like that might be okay. I kind of
DUIs?
have to DUIs, I'm not sure. I haven't had that one yet, but
Okay.
I can check, I can ask. It's kind of
Okay.
honestly, it's up to the employers, right? Like that's not a me rule. That's a where I'm placing these people and their HR and their policies. What are they willing to, you know, accept, I guess, right? So
For sure.
yeah. So, but
Thank you.
I've had at least 3 people that I know of that have had charges that we've worked through the program with.
Oh,
So,
nice. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So, but it
When
was
in
just,
doubt,
you can try.
yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yep. So, yep.
Perfect. I don't know if anyone else had any questions for Lily. Right. Well, thank you, Lily.
Okay.
This was most informative. Amber's on the call too. She's the other one who
Okay.
works out of this office. So I'm sure we'll both end up seeing you in the hallway and
We should
everything.
go to Razzie's.
Yeah.
Fish tacos at Razzie's are great.
Yeah.
Okay.
We keep
All right,
saying
thank
we're
you.
gonna go there.
Yeah.
Invite me when you're going there. I like going there. I haven't been
Sounds
there for like
good.
a year.
Oh
So,
yeah, we know where to
but-
find you now at least. Sounds like they're doing some renos too, so that's
Yeah.
good. It'll be nice and clean and new when we get there.
Yeah, well, I'm just across the hall. I'm here Tuesdays and Thursdays and sometimes Wednesdays, and otherwise I'm just working from home. So you can come over and ask me any questions, or yeah, and I'm happy to be able to, you know, make a connection with you guys, because I do think that you have a demographic that might be really good fit for the program. So
Yeah, no, love the sound of the programs, and even the
Yeah.
youth focused ones and children focused ones. I think
Yeah.
we have a lot of clients who might be able to take advantage of those for their
Oh,
kids,
yeah.
family, whatever. Well, yes,
wonderful.
great, good. Thank you so much for this. I'll circulate your presentation to everyone as well. I have all the
Yeah, all the
details.
links are in there, or just
Yes,
email
yeah.
me. You can give everybody my email if they need that too. So
Perfect. Well,
Okay.
that sounds great. Good. Thanks so much,
bye
Lily.
guys.
Thanks,
so much.
Lily. Bye-bye.